It's a difficult time when you lead people at the moment, and when we look into what's happening, we see that symbolism seems to be en vogue. Unfortunately, symbolism can work, but not as we see it happening at the moment. I'll just give you a couple of examples, and these are only the examples which we saw this week. So Trump decided to make Antifa illegal. Symbolism. It simply says we're not going to accept far left-wing organizations. Unfortunately, Antifa is not an organization. Who could have thought? Well, maybe someone who does the reading before they judge. That is one aspect of symbolism. Just to give you a couple more examples, we have a Michigan sheriff, walk with us, walking with the protesters. Symbolism. We have John Bercow being suggested by Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of the opposition in the UK's House of Parliament. John Bercow, the former Speaker of the House of Commons. John Bercow was suggested to get a peerage, go to the House of Lords, because as one of the first speakers for more than 100 years, he was not suggested by his own people, the Conservative Party. So the Labour Party suggested him to go to the House of Lords, and he was turned down. Symbolism on both sides of the game. We have Donald Trump again asking governors to dominate and jail protesters if needed. That is symbolism to be the strong man. We have the German Football Association, who, after we had protests of football players in Germany for the Black Lives Matter movement, that the German Football Association first announced that they're going to prove if that is against the neutrality, and they have to start an investigation against these players, quickly stepping away from it. Maybe not quick enough, but after the German journalist from the second largest German TV station said that this is an unacceptable behavior, the German Football Association quickly stepped back from it. Thank you, Daniel Brucker, for doing so. We have the Black Lives Matter movement, and we have a surprising amount of people who, for whatever reason, say they don't say Black Lives Matter, they say All Lives Matter, and I get to this nonsense in a minute. 3.6% of all the women during lockdown were molested or raped by their partners. That is a conclusion of a study of the Technical University of Munich, and the first reaction of many people on social media was, I can't believe that this is true. Here's the news for you, symbolism, male, toxic masculinity people. Science is not a belief system. When we go to all of that, it comes down to the same kind of behavior. It is symbolism. And if you think it can't get any worse, we have the LMNOP movement. I'm not making this up. You might think this cannot be true. No, it actually is true. The LMNOP movement is the lifestyle of mainstream, normal, ordinary people movement. People who want to reclaim June back from the gays, because it's not Pride Month, it's the LMNOP plus movement month. You can look their video up on YouTube, and I can promise you it is as sad as you think. All this has one thing in common, it is symbolism. Getting to the most important aspect of this first. Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter. When you look on my social media presence, I'm a self-employed entrepreneur, and of course I have clients who have different opinions than I have politically. You find me in the liberal conservative spectrum. In the UK, I was a bit more with the Conservative Party, not with Boris Johnson, of course. In Germany, I'm a bit more with the Liberal Party. So I'm basically in for a small tax, a low tax, small state kind of party. Everything to a reasonable amount, of course, because we need a state that is taking care of the people. When we now have something like Black Lives Matter, and you say it's not about black lives, it's about all lives, and all lives matter first. No one ever questioned that all lives matter, so that's not even the point here. When you say all lives matter instead of Black Lives Matter, you're belittling the issue of what we are facing now, which is a structured and institutionalized approach of police violence against minorities. I just give you an example. Let's say you go to the doctors and you say, I have a bit of pain in my arm, I think it's broken, could you please have a look? And the doctor has a look, does an x-ray and says, yeah, your arm is broken. The bones are broken in your arm. But, well, it's not important that your arm is okay. Not arm bones matter, all bones matter. You would say, well, that's probably true, but that's not the point here, is it? If you go to the dentist and you have a really bad inflammation, and the dentist would say, well, it's not about one tooth being okay, all teeth matter. You would again say, that's not the point. And let's stick to the corporate world. When we go to the corporate world where You may ask for a promotion because you've done something great, or you may file a complaint because something has gone wrong, someone treated you badly. Then, of course, you expect that they take action on that matter. If someone would tell you, yes, of course, it's a nice idea to have a salary raise and a promotion, but, well, let's face it, it's not about you here, it's about the whole company. So see the whole picture and step away from your idea. Or when someone treats you badly and someone says, well, it's not about you being treated bad here, we all have bad days in the office. Just think about the bigger picture. The whole company matters, not just you. You would say, yes, but that's not the point here. The point is that symbolism, as soon as you try to do something and you haven't thought it through very well, doesn't work at all. Maybe you saw the picture of Donald Trump standing in front of a church with a Bible, and then immediately people found out that he had to ask policemen to shoot the way free for him so he could take the picture with a Bible. Symbolism, even the bishop complained about them. And just today, and I quote word by word, when talking about today's job numbers, Donald Trump said the following: hopefully George is looking down right now and saying, this is a great thing that's happening for our country. It's a great day for him. It's a great day for everybody. It's a great day for everybody. This is a great, great day. Besides the fact that this is a rhetorical car crash, it is of course completely unacceptable to misuse this case for your own politics, especially when you completely link different aspects together only to mention a name and you think, oh, now I can claim I actually cared about it. Donald Trump clearly did not. So some companies now said, well, we can't post Black Lives Matter because we have conservative clients and they may not like it. Well, you can do that, but then please, of course, remove from your website everything about values and appreciation and how the customer is in the center of your attention and how you care about your employees. You obviously do only care about one aspect, which is the profit of your companies, and values for you are, well, debatable at best or close to non-existent. Still, symbolism can work when you do it properly. The problem is, how do you do it properly? I'll just give you an example of how to do it right. Let's take an example of a machine producing company, and they suddenly see that there are more and more competitors on the market who sell online, which means they, of course, can offer better pricing for a very simple reason. They have a sales team that doesn't have to travel. Their sales team only does work on the phone. Therefore, prices can go down, and suddenly they lose deals, even with well-settled clients. So what do? You say, we go online as well. That's good in the first place when you do it the right way. The wrong way would be you launch an online workshop, you don't talk to sales, you don't talk to marketing, you don't talk to the people who work for you, you don't talk to HR, you don't talk to clients, you only set up an online shop, and then you force your sales team to tell every single client, look, we have an online shop, do everything there. Because then you will meet resistance, and that is not even surprising. When you do it properly, how do you do it? So first, you announce it. Very important now is symbols do not replace content. So step number one is you talk to the people who will be affected the most. Then you get their idea, you get their feedback, and then you implement their ideas, or at least as many ideas as you can. Then you talk to the people who are indirectly affected by that. And you must be very clear and honest about how will it affect them. When you plan to lay off staff, people get the idea of what you do anyway. When you plan to lay them off and you have no other job to offer, you unfortunately have to tell them that maybe in 10 months' time their job is not there anymore. And then they are able to prepare, as long as you tell them early enough. I am quite frankly not very happy about how different airline carriers treated me as a customer during this crisis. I'm not talking about the booking process or that I had to fly. Fortunately, I could do my work online from here. But still, I received many of the so amazing marketing videos where the CEO tells me in a video it's all set up, perfect lighting, completely scripted, nothing natural at all about the video. And then the CEO tells me it's a challenging time, but we all get through this because we focus on the customer and our staff is our most important asset. Then I look into the media, and of course now some may claim media can be biased. That's true. So you always need to have more than one source. If you only have one or two newspapers reporting something, and no one else takes care of it, there is a certain chance that it might be a biased report. But when you have from left to right-wing magazines all over the place, they report the same issue, then you most likely have found something. And when I see a premium airline carrier who tells me that they take care of their staff, two of my friends work there, they are furloughed, and there's a certain likelihood that they will get fired after this crisis. So when suddenly the confrontation is against the unions, against the people, against everyone on staff who has a so-called old contract, which means maybe a higher salary and better conditions, and they deliberately try to get rid of that just to offer people worse conditions and to make it a very cheap venture for them, while at the same time raise the price and tell me we're a premium airline. Do you really think I don't get that when I'm going to book a flight? You have to tell me what you do better with your people to prevent that I book a cheaper flight. Because when the product is exchangeable, tell me why I should pay premium just because you're a state-owned or state-affiliated airline. I don't care about the brand. I care what you really do for your people. So when you talk to your people, getting back to that, you get the ideas, you implement as many of them as possible. Symbols do not replace content, so be sure that it's communicated properly, and do not start with any kind of so-called whataboutism. Don't go for, oh, the other competitor has done that, so we need to do it as well. Look, they have done that, we need to copy that. This is not how you create a brand. Symbolism works when you work it up properly. You integrate the ideas of the people, and then you present it to me as a customer and tell me what is in for me, what is in for your people, what is in for your organization. And from that point, you will win a customer for a very long time. Of course, when people wonder, is there anything more to discuss? Of course, this aspect is a lot more complicated than just that we're just able to talk about that on a podcast. When you look into the show notes, you find expert-letter.nb-networks.com. That's the expert letter where we discuss many more and different aspects with a weekly, completely ad-free newsletter. Be sure to sign up for that, or just drop me an email at nb@nb-networks.com. What else can you do now? Because what you shouldn't do now is you just end this podcast, you go to the HR or your leadership office and say, we have to do it all differently. This is not how it works. What you do now, you sit down and think, what have we done wrong in the past? And it's okay when you realize you have done something wrong. As soon as you realize you've done something wrong, you find 2 or 3 proper reasons why they have done it wrong, and then you approach them with your ideas and at least a specific plan of what you think could be a next step to discuss how to do it better. Do not jump through a closed door and tell them, you're all wrong, I know how to do it right. You approach them in an ordinary matter with a civil conversation, and then you take it from there. Let me know if I can help. And now I only wish you all the best implementing this in your organization. And for this podcast, I can only say thank you very much for your time.